off of Barry. It'll go out of bounds. Last touch by Barry, and it'll be a fresh shot clock for the Aggies, who look to try and tie this up. It's 5-4 in favor of the Tigers, the number 3 nationally ranked Pacific Tigers and the number 10 UC Davis Aggies. Passed it inside shot, blocked by Barry. Tigers will try and hold as long as they can for potentially the final shot. Towards the far side go the Tigers. Pass towards Cote. Look and try and get it inside. And an exclusion on the Aggies. A 6-on-5 with 15 seconds remaining, actually less than, right now 12. Tigers will just try and hold this one out as long as they can. Up to the top. Back to the far. 2 seconds remain. Shot. Goal at the last second for the Tigers. It's 6-4. Diorde Stanic with the goal. With 1 second remaining, Tigers in a prime spot to take this one for the first half at 6-4. They'll set it up, and the last shot will be deflected and go out of bounds, and that will be it for the first half. So after one half of play, the number 3 nationally ranked Pacific Tigers lead 6-4 over the number 10 UC Davis Aggies. We'll step aside and take the break. Hear from Chris Kelton Poole.
Here at Chris Kelton Poole on December 7th and 8th. That's the Final Four here at Chris Kelton Poole on December 7th.
Chose UOP because of the small classroom sizes. I love the idea of the professors, you know, the old slogan, they know who you are, they know your name, and it's more of a friendly, more relaxed atmosphere.
I've loved all the different people that I've been able to meet, people from different backgrounds, from different areas, different countries. Definitely come from all over, and that's even going to influence like where you go to eat on a Friday night or whatever. So like all the different food choices, and then Stockton provides a lot of opportunities for you to go and try new things.
I think Stockton has a very small community feel, and I think that translates over to UOP, how we have a small family environment here.
Also at Rebel Point, that's where they hold lots of festivals out there. This year they had the fireworks over there for 4th of July, and it was really nice to go over there and see the city come together and hang out.
I can't imagine being anywhere else.
I think Stockton has a really bright future because of its people, because of the people that care. Something I learned about Stockton is that there are a lot of hidden gems around the city, and you really have to get out there and just put yourself out there and just explore a little with your friends.
Especially going to UOP, every single year you kind of get more and more of a sense of the city that you live in. It's kind of excessively friendly with the people that I've actually stopped to like talk to and have interactions with. It's really friendly, and there are a lot of people just kind of hidden amongst the ranks that really want to make the city a better place, which I think is actually pretty unique.
I think it's a very personal decision where you decide to go to college and spend those 4 years of your life. At Pacific, you know you'll get a great education, but you'll also have a really good time. You'll be a part of a really strong and thriving community.
Welcome back here at Chris Kelton Pool, home of the University of Pacific Tigers, the number 3 nationally ranked Pacific Tigers and the number 10 UC Davis Aggies. Tigers lead this one 6-4 as we get started with the third quarter sprint. Tigers will control it. They will swing it around to the top side, and a foul on the Aggies here early on. Tigers going from left to right, wearing the black caps, orange trim, white numbers. Aggies going from right to left, attempt inside and a goal. It'll skip in. As it was Luke Pavillard with the goal. The redshirt senior from Perth, Australia, will get the hat trick, and the Tigers will lead 7-4. Over to the top go the Aggies. Aggies looking to try and get anything going. After the first quarter, they really didn't have much. A pass on the inside, an exclusion on the Tigers. And even the exclusions so far have been sent away by the Tigers defense. Pass dumped inside and deflected, taken away by the Tigers. It was Yuri Hanley once again trying to get on the inside. The Tigers will send it away. A foul on the Aggies. The inside on the far side pass. Looking to get it inside. We'll go up to Jeremy Cote off the top. Cote swinging it around. Just slow it down and go towards pass back outside to Pavillard. Pavillard back up to Cote. Inside shot. Will go wide right. The Aggies have been a full quarter without having a score. They were able to get that. They were trailing, actually it was 5-3. We were able to get it to 5-4, and that was about it. About 5 minutes remaining. A shot on the outside, it skips off the post and goes inside for a goal. It'll be 7-5.
Goal scored by number 10, Mayor Gross.
It'll be near Gross with the goal. So it's 7-5 in favor of the Tigers. It'll be John Berry that will hold it for the Tigers. The goalkeeper will give it to Pavillard. Pass on the inside. Tried to backhand it, and was a foul called before the shot. The Tigers will reset. Side shot will be blocked by the Aggies. Last touch by the Aggies. A fresh shot clock coming up for the Tigers. As Addington was actually lost a little control on it after he blocked it, and will set the Tigers up once again. Pass inside. Before that, an exclusion will be held. A shot and a goal for the Tigers. That quick.
Scored by number 11,
And Jordy Sonic with the goal, his second of the evening. And as quickly as the Aggies were able to score, the Tigers pushed the lead back up to 3, 8-5, with 5:47 remaining in the third quarter. Watching the student section in the all orange, and they're running up the stairs, and I think they're starting to get a little winded. So the Aggies going from right to left actually had an opportunity just a moment, had a little bit of a seam. 14 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Back up to the top, a shot, and on the far post, it will go in. The Aggies will close the gap 8-6. I believe it was Kyle Riley with the goal. Riley's 10th goal of the season. The deficit back down to 2. Alex Donardi pushed inside as he comes in from the top. We'll get it to Pavlar. Back to Donardi atop. Pass inside, a dump on the inside. Another exclusion on the Aggies. Tigers will attempt another 6-on-5 power play as that was on Riley. Cote over to the far side to Araya. Back over toward near Pavlar. Dump pass. I'm going to call a 5-meter penalty, I believe, on this. A 5-meter penalty shot. Cote that will, looks like he's going to be the one that's going to take the shot. The Golden Coast Conference Player of the Week stands up, shot, skip shot, and it will actually hit off the crossbar and right towards Addington, who one way or another, if he would have back-armed it, would have skipped back in, but the time, the deficit stays the same, 8-6. Aggies with possession, 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Up to the top go the Aggies. We'll skip it around towards the far side. Dumped inside and actually lost control. That was Max Sample. Berrywell with an outlet pass and a shot blocked by Addington, who had it launch up in the air. Tracked it and settled it right in front of him. Pavlar tried to get the shot once again, trying to extend this lead for the Tigers. Now it'll go to the Aggies, who will try and cut into this deficit as it's 8-6. The shot, and it'll be blocked by Berry and out of bounds. It'll be a fresh shot clock for the Aggies. 3:52 remaining here in the third period. Skip it around, we'll get it to the, actually once again, I think they lost it once again, did the Aggies. It was Spencer Towell that may have lost control. As on the far side, a little bit of a launch, tried to jump up high in the air. A backhand shot attempt by Cote went blocked actually by Addington. Long outlet pass will go towards Towell. An exclusion will be on the Tigers, a 6-on-5 and a timeout called with 3:06 remaining. Timeout was called by the Aggies, a full timeout, so we'll give you a this is Luis Araya will get the exclusion. 8-6 our score. 8 goals on 23 shots for the Tigers at 3:48. 6 goals on 20 shots. Right at 300 are the Aggies. 10 exclusions for the Aggies to the Tigers 4. Tigers have been able to capitalize on 3 of those exclusions, while the Aggies are only 1 of 4. Tigers have taken 2 penalty shots, 1 for 2 in that category. But the exclusions starting to add up. Keenan Anderson with an exclusion, George Kaisis with 2 exclusions, Kyle Riley with 1, Ian M with 2, Jack Stafford with 2, Max Sample and Levi Murtaugh, all with exclusions for the Aggies. Tigers currently doing okay as far as exclusions go. Luke Pavillard leads the way for the Tigers. 6 goals, 2 assists. He has 5 points for the Tigers. The redshirt senior helping with this lead as it is 8-6. Aggies with the possession, the 6-on-5 for the Aggies. Over to the far side, and the Aggies starting to kind of creep in, trying to break the defense, as that will go off the far side post. The Aggies are sent away during that attempt. John Barry trying to call out the offense and trying to get somebody to acknowledge so that way he can get the ball sent over into Aggies' side of the pool. Shot will go high. That attempt, was by Bogdan Jerkovic. An exclusion will be on the Tigers, and I believe that was on Denardi. So another 6-on-5 for the Tigers, or on the Aggies. They will try and dump it inside. We'll pass it back out for the Aggies. That'll be the second on Denardi. Try to dump it inside. We'll get deflected and off the far post once again. Aggies will get a fresh shot clock as it was a turnover on the Tigers right as the possession was about to change hands. To the far side, swinging it around. We'll go to the far side, go to the Aggies. Back up to the top. Dumps inside. An exclusion on the Tigers. The Aggies will have actually had a little bit of the benefit here in the most recent moments. Jeremy Cote with the exclusion. First time we've actually said his name on the wrong side of the exclusions. Foul on the Aggies, and it'll be the Tigers' possession with 1:20 remaining here in the third. Tigers leading 8-6. Little skip shot goes wide left. Hands high in the air. Luke Pavillard took the shot, and after that kind of got tangled up with an Aggies defender. That's dumped off in the middle of the pool with the Aggies. Murtaugh to the far side shot. Far side post blocked by John Barry, and it was also kind of like he pinned it up against the post for the most part, just to make sure nothing was to go past him. 30 seconds remaining. Tigers with 12 on the shot clock. We'll dump it inside. Try to get it towards Jerkovic. An exclusion will be on the Aggies, the 11th of the night. Sample on the exclusion. So it'll be Cote at the top. Pass it around towards Pavillard. Pavillard back to Cote. Shot deflected and last touched by the Aggies. So Tigers will have it once again towards Pavillard. Pavillard shot and goal for the Tigers. Pavillard with another assist. This one will go and push the lead up 9-6. Matthew Hosmer with another goal, his second of the night. But Pavillard has been all over the place on the stat sheet. That's his third assist of the evening. Well, last second shot. Horn will go, and that will be it. After three, the Tigers lead 9-6 over the Aggies. We'll look to close this one out here from Chris Kelton-Poole.
My name is Brinley Barthels. I came to Pacific because I was actually looking at water polo programs, and it was one of the better programs in the state. And they also had a great science program. So their biology and chemistry departments especially were very rigorous and something that I knew would prepare me well for my future. When I visited the school, I saw a lot of chemistry labs and the opportunity for people to do research in the chemistry department, and that was something I was really excited about. My research, when I started, we began with peptide synthesis. So basically taking these small building blocks called amino acids, putting them all together and forming long chains. So Alzheimer's in particular is manifested because peptides are created at different lengths. So we are able to take those peptides, recreate them in the lab, and analyze their function and factors that make them non-functional. So my grandma was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a couple years ago, so it's extremely personal to me that, you know, I'm able to take this research that I'm doing and apply it back to my own life. It's humbling and also exciting that I am able to do these small experiments and look at these small peptides and know that somewhere, somehow, someone is going to take my research or the research that my lab is doing and use it on something bigger like these diseases. Prospective freshmen come in and they're asking, well, why should we choose Pacific? You know, what's the academics like? And the first thing I say every time is that the research aspect in the chemistry department especially is very unique. I know a lot of people that go to different schools in California or even in the United States that have never set foot in a research laboratory. The opportunities presented here are extremely important and extremely unique to Pacific. And everyone that asks me, I say the best part about this school is the research aspect, definitely.
Final quarter about to take place here at Chris Kelton Pool on the campus of the University of Pacific in Stockton, California. Jeff Dominic with you. Thank you very much for joining us. As this was a good one early, and it still is a good one. It's 9-6 in favor of the number 3 nationally ranked Pacific Tigers over the UC Davis Aggies. And Luke Pavillard has been the name to say here tonight. Fourth quarter sprint just getting started. He has 6 points, 3 goals, and 3 assists. Does Luke Pavillard, the redshirt senior from Australia. Tigers will go from left to right wearing the black caps, white numbers, orange trim. Aggies wearing the white caps, blue numbers. This is Pavillard up at the top, dumps it inside. A heads-up play by Addington will take it away, and it actually, before we even get to go a chance to do that, Tigers, and now an exclusion. A little bit of frustration, I believe, on Addington. He actually started to pull away from Ege Kolak, who we haven't said his name, who's been a big factor early on. Timeout called by I believe by the Aggies. A frustrated turn of events for the Aggies. They were just about to take possession, and a foul and then a exclusion being held. We'll go ahead and keep a check on what may be the official call, but I believe Addington has been charged with an exclusion at least. And I believe actually double checking. I want a timeout called. Yeah, it was going to be Jonah Addington will be on the exclusion. So Addington is out. I almost thought there was another exclusion, but it looks like it's just going to be Addington. Jonah Addington will be charged with the exclusion. 7:40 remaining in the game. Tigers Cote will pass it along towards the far side to Pavillard. Only with it, we'll get to the far side. Shot deflected. Pass inside will be given back to Pavillard. He winds up with it. Shot this time will go in for the Tigers. And a yellow card being issued. I believe that once again is Hosmer. Give him the hat trick. And a yellow card's being issued, and I'm going to double check on who that one is on this time.
Number 10, Matthew Hosmer. Yellow card given to number 10, Near Gross.
Oh, so they're going to give that yellow card on Gross. Duncan Creed, the new goalkeeper for the Aggies, it looks like. So the Aggies trail 10-6. little bit of frustration building for the Aggies as well. Thought they had an opportunity off the side near post, and it will go right to Barry. Aggies have not been able to find the back of the net. But most recently, in almost the last 2 quarters of play, just 3 times, while the Tigers, for the most part, poured it on. Araya will see the entry pass, trying to dump it inside. There he dumps it inside, and it'll be an exclusion. Ege Kolak was trying to receive a pass. So the Pavillard will reset it for the Tigers. Passing it around, up to the top is Cote, down to the far side. Araya now back to Pavillard. Pavillard to Cote. Cote shot, it'll be deflected, and it'll go for the Aggies. So Duncan Creed, the new goalkeeper after the removal of Addington, who had the start tonight. 9 seconds on the shot clock. We'll get it up top for the Aggies. So they go from right to left. Creed counting it down 1. It'll go off the far post. And a very soft skip shot by the Aggies. Stanic was starting to bring up a possession for the Tigers, and before that there was going to be a foul on the Tigers, or by the Tigers, and the Aggies will take control. Stanic matched up for the Aggies, passing it back out was Ambidge, and deflected and going out of bounds. Last touch by the Aggies. Tigers will take over. 5:06 remaining here in the contest. Luke Pavillard will control the possession to get it to Stanic. Stanic will pass it to the far side. I believe that's towards Araya. Shot off the crossbar. Not something you really want to see right now from the Tigers. You want to kind of just dwindle down the time that's remaining. They're up by 4. There's about 15 seconds remaining on that shot clock. And that shot was taken. Aggies to the far side towards Murtaugh. Murtaugh will get it over up to the top. Shot, and that will go in for the Aggies. It'll be 10-7. George Custis with the goal. Custis on the night, a goal and assist. Near Gross leads the way for the Aggies. He has 2. Tigers lead by 3 with 4:22 remaining. The Cote, the Golden Coast Conference Player of the Week, to get it to Stanic. Stanic back to Cote. Exclusion on the Aggies. Shot, goal for the Tigers. Luke Pavillard.
Tiger goal scored by number 5, Luke Pavillard.
And I believe Cote might have gotten the assist on that one. Pavillard has been all over the stat sheet, as we mentioned earlier. 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points on the night for the redshirt senior. Cote with the goal and an assist tonight.
11, Jack Stafford was on the exclusion. He's done.
Stafford with the exclusion. Now he'll end his night with 4 minutes remaining, just a little over 4 minutes remaining here in the contest. So the Aggies to the near side, looking to dump it inside. We'll get it back out. Peralta will dump it. And the exclusion on the Tigers. Head coach James Graham was a little frustrated. He had his hands up in the air saying, that's all you need to do, just put your hands up in the air. 6-on-5, blocked by Barry. Kind of underrated, or I should say understated, John Barry's performance tonight. He's actually had a very solid night, as he has now collected his 9th save. Shot off the bar and right in front of us. Timeout called.
Timeout, UC Davis.
UC Davis with the timeout. Tigers 11 goals on 33 shots. That's shooting .333. The big difference tonight has been the exclusions. The Aggies have, in some instances, have not been able to keep their composure. 14 exclusions to the Tigers 7, and the Tigers have really shown why that you let them have the opportunity, and this is where it's at. They have scored 6 times on 14 exclusions, just under 500, compared to UC Davis only able to capitalize once on the Tigers in 7 attempts during the exclusions. Also, only 29 shots of those 7 goals at .241. The biggest discrepancies right there for this matchup. And with 3 minutes and 14 seconds remaining, 11-7 our score. Creed controlling it for the Aggies. We'll dump it towards the far side. A foul on the Tigers, Eli Lully, and a foul on the Aggies. Will turn it over. Tigers will push it up right towards Luke Pavillard. Pavillard, dump it inside, and a shot goal for the Tigers. The assist to Pavillard. Cote with the goal. 12-7.
By number 8, Jeremy Cote.
And there's, once again, and that's something else that we haven't really been able to say. I think that Pavillard had the biggest opportunity to go ahead and score that, and wound up passing it up and giving one of his teammates a great opportunity. Aggies with it towards the near side. Exclusion, I believe, was going on the Tigers.
White Barker in the exclusion.
Parker on the exclusion, so it is a 6-on-5. A block, and it will go deflect in for the Aggies with 2.5 minutes remaining, right at 2.5 minutes. That goal was for the Aggies near Gross. Would be his 3rd of the night. One of the bright spots for the Aggies. The Aggies will go to San Jose State.
Keenan Anderson on the goal.
And it's actually gone, Keenan Anderson actually got the goal. I didn't even notice, but I saw near Gross closer to me. Eli Lully with 7 on the shot clock. Now they'll kind of spend a little time. Ege Kolak. Student section wanted a foul called. Creed will wind up with it and over to the far side. The Aggies looking to push the tempo. 18 on the shot clock. Anderson actually was with it on the near side, and I thought he had a great opportunity. Shot inside, deflected. Fresh shot clock for the Aggies. Yellow card being issued. I believe that's on head coach James Graham. Actually, correction. Ege Kolak will be charged with the foul. A 5-meter assessed, and the Aggies with the score 12-8, a minute 37 remaining. And a shot. And a goal for the Aggies, 12-9.
Goal scored by number 10, Near Gross.
Near Gross will get the hat trick.
That last yellow card was issued to Coach James Graham.
They did issue the yellow card to head coach James Graham. I thought that's what they pointed at. And I also saw number 4 being held up, so I thought they were going to push that on Ege Kolak. John Barry was controlling the possession for the Tigers before giving it off to the far side. Tigers, Luis Araya controlling it. Cote inside to Kolak. Kolak spins around, loses control. Shot, tried to lob it. Timeout called by the Aggies, and still a lot of time remaining, a minute 3, and it's 12-9. And I believe, double check real quick.
Timeout, UC Davis, they are out of timeouts.
That was the final timeout. Daniel Leeson, the head coach, actually, to be honest, how they worded on the UC Davis Aggies website is and I want to make sure, make sure I say this correctly, the Child and Meisel Family's Director of Men's Water Polo is how they call it. Called the timeout. 24 seconds on the shot clock. Pass tried to dump inside. Passing it out. And a foul on the Aggies. .47 seconds remaining. 12-9 our score.
Exclusion on number 23, Levi Murtaugh. He's also done.
Levi Murtaugh with the exclusion, so a 6-on-5 with 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock, 28 seconds remaining of the game. And Andrea Donardi is just gonna loft it. And a quick shot at the last second before time expired by, I believe that was Ege Kolak. As the final seconds will tick down here. And the Tigers will improve to 10-1. While the Aggies will move to 7-7. And Luke Pavillard was the name to say quite early and often, as he, not only with his 4 goals, but also had 4 assists.
And that will do it.
And the final score was 12-9.
Defeats UC Davis by the final score of 12-9.
For the Aggies, they will head over towards San Jose State area, and they will play the Spartans at 1 o'clock on Sunday, while the Tigers will face the #1 nationally ranked Stanford Cardinals. And that game will be right here at Chris Kelton Pool, scheduled for 1 o'clock. We hope you all can join us for that one, as that will be an exciting one. And I will expect to see a lot of fans in attendance from both sides, and I expect a pretty ruckus pool and area. So want to thank Rebecca Sharman and her entire table staff. Does a fantastic job night in and night out on a regular basis. Michael January, the video coordinator and director, bringing you the sights and sounds of everything, as well as myself, Jeff Dominic. Wanted to thank you very much for tuning in as the Tigers win this one by a final score of 12-9 here from Chris Kelton Pool. Good night, everybody.